to Trier. Trier drives down and throws it down. Oh, Alonzo Trier. Talk about an exclamation point.
Welcome back to the For the Love of the Game podcast. My name is Nas, and we're going to be breaking down the recent frustrations with the Knicks, as usual. Jesus. So, watching the past couple games the Knicks have had, I've been preaching all year about my man Alonzo Trier. I've been preaching that the Knicks need a three-level scorer. They need somebody that when they catch the ball, they can fit with the modern NBA and how PGs, play in today's game. I don't understand the love that's been given to these point guards that can't shoot. Elfrid Payton, I'm not really going to categorize Frank right now because, in my opinion, you can still use Frank. You can still use Frank Ntilikina off the bench. You can use him in certain lineups when you're going small ball. But Trier, to me, has been the guy that, for whatever reason, has been the dog on the Knicks. He's been the guy that they've been dogging him. They just sitting him on the bench all year, and they're not giving this guy a chance. After last year, what we saw he can do. He's a spark plug. He's somebody put in the game. He's aggressive. Been reading a couple articles, and there's one particular article. They talked about Trier's 15-point game he recently had, and talking about how it was just it still wasn't a good game. How he was a couple plays he pushed off and it shouldn't have been counted. 6 points shouldn't have been counted. And this is a Knicks article, and I'm looking at it and I'm just like, I wish we had more players like Trier that were aggressive, that put their head down and just want to score a bucket. Because in today's league you need scoring. It's that simple. I'm jumping straight into it. In today's league you need scoring. So Trier, like I keep saying, is the only three-level scorer the Knicks have on the team. He's the guy that needs to get the minutes, point blank. I'm gonna go into lineups that I feel like the Knicks need to run in the future with this roster. But as of right now, I need an explanation. I need somebody in the Knicks front office to get in front of the camera and explain what has happened with Trier. What's the reason Knicks fans cannot see this undrafted kid that has been a consummate professional? As he said, he's been a professional. He's been on that bench, cheering his guys on, watching this abomination that is the Knicks. And yeah, y'all see the jersey. This is a RJ Barrett jersey. Like, I'm a heavy Knicks fan. I'm a basketball fan in general. But when it comes to this team, the level of ineptitude is just crazy. I mean, you're starting Elfrid Payton, Mike Miller. You're starting Elfrid Payton, which, Elfrid is a journeyman player. Been in the league a couple years. Is not an old player, but is not a young player either. He's in the middle. So, you're starting this guy. What's the reason? We're not making the playoffs. You're not fighting for any spot. Right now, you should be looking for development. You're looking for spark plugs on your team. You're looking for potential. What is the reason to still start these vets? The way Mike Miller explained it, and I'm pretty sure every Knicks fan, has seen and heard what I'm talking about. I'm just kind of reiterating. He's talking about quality minutes. Quality minutes. I understand what that means, Mike Miller, but we're in a dumpster fire. This is a dumpster fire team. I mean, yeah, if you want to look for quality minutes on a team that's trying to get a playoff spot, I understand. But this team, we're fighting for a lottery pick. We're trying to lose games, basically. We're trying to basically just get a pick, get a high pick. So what is with the quality minutes? There is no quality. This is me, after months of frustration, months of watching this product on the floor and just trying to really understand what is going on. You got hardworking people paying tickets to go to the Garden and watch this team, and it's like there's no excuse for this. You can lose games. I always say this. You can lose games, but don't lose like this. Don't lose like this. I'm pretty sure every Knicks fan would be happy if they saw the youth playing. This is a message that hopefully everybody on YouTube or on the internet, speaking on this team can say the same message, and hopefully the Knicks organization hears these messages. Give us Iggy. Give us Trier. Give us Dot. Give us the youth. I don't want to see Elfrid Payton no more. Unfortunately, I don't got nothing against the guy. Hopefully, he goes to another team, a contender next season, hopefully, and he do his thing. As of right now, I don't want to see him. Taj Gibson. Love Taj. New York guy, great vet. He's a great example for the young kids. And Taj has been playing well for his age, for the amount of years he's been in the league. I got nothing against Taj. But don't start him. Give Mitch the opportunity. Give him the opportunity to start, to become the anchor of this team. Mitch has been doing great with the minutes that he has, but you got to give him the opportunity, man. Like I said, RJ Barrett too, man. This guy, to me, RJ, you're using him completely wrong. And I don't know, like, I'm not an expert. I'm not some, scout and some guy that's just out here trying to speak on the Knicks like I'm some expert. I'm not. I'm a fan. But to be using RJ the way that they're using him makes no sense. He's not a spot-up shooter. He's not an off-ball slasher. It's not his game. He is a point guard. He's a point guard in a wing's body, basically. He's a good defender. You can put him at the 2, 3, or the 1. Preferably, I want him at the 2, but because of our roster composition, and because you really, two guards, you need that 2 guard to be able to space that floor good, I preferably have him at the 3, right? Because we're looking for a PG in the draft. You want a PG that can break down the defense and shoot. That's what we want. So for me, RJ is going to be a 3 in his career. That's just how I see it. He's 6'6", 6'7", one of those, 6'6", 6'7". So he can play the 3, especially in today's league, Now, when you're going against LeBron James and, Giannis and all these freak 3s out here, obviously RJ is not going to guard them. But for the most part, get him used to playing up. So you can put Trier in that 2 spot or Dot in that 2 spot. I have no problem with Damian Dotson and Trier being those shooting guards for us, right? You can play Trier in multiple lineups. You can play him at the 1, the 2, you know what I mean? You can play Dotson at the 2 or the 3, They had Dotson playing some 4 last year, so I don't want to hear the fact that you can't find minutes for Dotson in this lineup. Frank, you gotta find a spot for Frank. Yes, Frank is a point guard by nature, but we all know heading into next year, he's not gonna be the point guard. Like, if the Knicks draft Cole Anthony, LaMelo Ball, any of those top point guards, those guys are gonna be the top point guards getting minutes. They're gonna be starting at that spot. So where does that leave Frank? That means you gotta find minutes for him somewhere. So I was actually listening to the Nick of Time show podcast with Jay Ellis, and he was speaking to, I think, Amico. His name is something Amico. He's really good voice for the Knicks. And just the little thing that he said about Frank playing some 4. At first when I heard that, I was like, Frank cannot play the 4. But then I really thought about how he broke it down, and it was like, you could slot Frank at some 4. Play small ball. Look at the Rockets. I'm not saying Frank is going to lock down no 4s. That's not the point. The point is to have versatility. The point is to find spots for these players, these youthful players. You cannot let these dudes just rot on the bench. You got to play them. Dennis Smith Jr. I'm not a Dennis Smith Jr. fan. I'm not saying this dude is a top young point guard in the league. I'm not saying that. But he's what we have. Unfortunately, we lost Porzingis. So you got Dennis Smith Jr. So you got to just let him play and find a rhythm. And since he's been playing, he hasn't been playing bad. He hasn't been playing terrible. Obviously, his shot is not great. But you just gotta play these dudes, man. I don't want to hear this quality minute stuff, man. I don't want to hear that. Like, to me, that's just an excuse to try to fight for your coaching record. That's really what that sounds like. And, to me, Mike Miller's not a bad guy. He's got good X's and O's knowledge. But to me, that's a cop-out statement. Because you know the situation. And, you're trying to fight for your position as a head coach, which I understand. But it's like, what you're saying, it holds no weight. Because Reggie Bullock he's not anybody that you're looking at like, oh, he's going to change the franchise. He's going to be some dude that's going to be here for the rest of his career. Like, we don't know what's going to happen to Reggie. We don't know what's going to happen. If you give me the option, keeping Reggie or developing Dotson and Trier, come on, man, it's obvious. Get Trier out there, man. We saw what he did in the last 2 games. I don't want to hear nothing about empty stats. He's the only one that's really is able to score at a 3 level. He's the only one. So, without getting too passionate and getting too crazy on this camera, Trier, this is just a message that hopefully somebody hears it in the Knicks organization and maybe they consider it. Give Trier 30 minutes a game. Let this kid do what he does, because we don't have nobody else that can do what he does. That's point blank. We don't have shot creators, unfortunately, which every NBA team is supposed to have, which I don't understand how the Knicks are building this team like this. You need shot creators. You need creators in general. It doesn't have to just be at the 1 or 2 spot. You need 3s that can create, 4s that can create. I'm not going to get into the Kevin Knox thing. You can check out my latest podcast, how I blacked on Kevin Knox. Now, I've been saying this for a while now with Kevin Knox. This kid's got all the talent in the world. He's built right, 6'9", long arms, but he doesn't have the guts, the heart. He doesn't have the will, the want to be great. And it's unfortunate. But you got to be honest with yourself. You got to look at this kid and look at the minutes that he's given. And, everybody was complaining he ain't getting enough minutes. Man, you really got to show something on that floor. You can't lay these eggs back to back to back games and then have one game where you might look decent. That's ridiculous. That's not development. That's not potential. That's just sorry G League performances that you should be in the G League getting minutes down there. I'm not going to go crazy about Kevin Knox because, you can check out my last podcast. You know what I mean? But Iggy should be getting minutes over him. Let's just be realistic. Because Kevin Knox is a lottery pick, that means he's supposed to get all the minutes over Iggy? No, if Iggy is playing better, bring him up. Bring him up and let them compete for the minutes. Let them compete. You know what I mean? So, to me, Trier, this video is mostly about Alonzo Trier. Because, in my opinion, when you're watching these games, and you're watching the ball move side to side, and then it ends up in Julius Randle's hands. Everybody's killing Randle because the turnovers, he don't shoot great. We know what Randle is. We knew what he was when he got here. We knew what he was. We knew on the Pelicans, he benefited from a system of movement and shooting. They had shooters. You know what I mean? Like, they have Alvin Gentry has a great system, and it put him in a position where he could be mostly a roller and a post-up guy. And people couldn't help, really, because he had good pieces around him, for the most part, that can shoot. The Knicks don't have that. So, I'm not killing Randle for the result that's on the floor. He's had some good games. He's made bonehead plays time and time again where he gets pressured and he's not good at throwing out a double team. We know this, but it's mostly because of the roster construction, how it's built. You got Mitch out there who can't shoot, and really Mitch and Randle don't mesh. In a perfect world, in my opinion, you trade Randle off, unfortunately. You trade him, you get some assets back for him. You slot Kevin Knox at the 4 or the 3, 3-ish 4, let him play those minutes, and you bring up Iggy too, and you just go small and let these kids run. That's, in my opinion, that's the ideal situation, unfortunately. That's what we gotta look at, man. We ain't getting no free agents. We got the young pieces we got. These young pieces have lost their value in the league for the most part. People not giving great assets back for Kevin Knox or Frank Ntilikina. So you got what you got. So at this point, you got to draft well, and you got to put these kids in position where they can thrive. You got to look at these kids and be like, yo, what is the best spot for you? Kevin Knox, it seems like you can't keep up with threes. Let's try you at the 4. Let's try to make him a stretch. Try to make him stretch big that can do things with the ball. But for the most part, he's too slow. He's too slow to play the 3, in my opinion. There's people that will debate me and say, he can. Okay, whatever. To me, he's a 4. He's going to get bigger and stronger in the league. He does not have a good motor. So if you don't got a good motor, what makes you think you're keeping up with 3s and 2s? So my camera just died, so I got to switch to the cell phone. But getting back to like I was saying, yeah, man, this is honestly just, I started this channel to talk about, the Knicks, that's my team, and basically just vent out, frustrations for the most part, but to get people's opinions and to relate to other fans that's out there. Because I love the community, man. I love Knicks Fan TV. I love what CP's doing over there, and I just, I wanted to do my own thing and voice my opinion. But man, it just seems to me like there's simple stuff that's just not being done with the organization. Like, the organization is a laughingstock for simple things. got to do is draft shooting. Draft shooters. Get guys. Look at the Heat right now. Look at the Heat. Duncan Robinson, Kendrick Nunn. You got guys that are killers. Guys that can shoot. Why do we have soft-hearted guys that can't shoot? It's really simple. Just change the way you draft, number one, and start making sense of this team. I know it sounds so general, but it's basketball. It's not hard. Get guys that want to play and want to kill. And getting back to the video, the way it's, Alonzo Trier is one of those guys, but he's been sitting the bench all year. So like I said, I just need an explanation, man. I need somebody, Allen Houston, Scott Perry. I need one of you guys, man, to speak up, man, and explain why, Trier has been in the doghouse. What happened with him and Fizdale? What happened? What happened, man? So, that's really what I want to talk about with this video. Hopefully I can get more content out and start making consistent videos. I'm definitely planning on getting a real professional podcast set up. This is my first video, so cut me some slack. For everybody listening on the podcast, I am speaking on YouTube right now, so I'm combining both. So hopefully you guys can stick around, like, comment, subscribe, kill me on my opinion if you want to. I'm here for it. I'm here for it, man. Let's get a conversation started. And I'll see you guys next time.